But many think the Iran nuclear deal engineered by the Obama administration is to blame for our current situation. Here to debate that is Director of Rising PAC, Alexander Wilkes, and Democratic strategist Howard Franklin. Guys, thanks for coming on this morning. Howard, what do you think? I mean, obviously, the Iran nuclear deal didn't do much to curb Iran's mostly evil behavior in a lot of ways.
Sure. I think it's a fair question to ask. Absolutely. I do believe that America was able to confirm that 97% of low-grade uranium was removed at the ratification of said deal. And I think Democrats have a point in the fact that the president, just this time last year, pulled the country out of that deal without replacing it with something else. So I think it's less just a criticism of whatever the president comes up with, and I think we're still waiting to find out what that is, but also an acknowledgement that the timing left a year of nothing in place to address Iran's behavior.
Okay. Alex, as we've seen, Democrats are not happy at all with really anything the president does with this country. Kamala Harris yesterday said she wants to go back into the JCPOA, the Iran deal. What do you think?
I mean, look, I think that if the 2020 Democratic primary wasn't a race about who can hate on the president the most, that actually Democrats would be more favorable to what the president is doing. The president has, more dovish instincts than a lot of the Republican counterparts that he ran against in 2016. This is a person who does not want to engage in wars. He wants to get us out of wars, and that's where a lot of the Democrats are. So, I think that for the Democrats to come back now, and especially after President Obama's disastrous Iran deal, and to be critical of the president as he's attempting to avoid, a more serious altercation with Iran, it strikes me as a little bit disingenuous.
Yeah. Now, Howard, a tweet from the president here. Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Under the terrible Obama plan, they would have been on their way to nuclear in a short number of years, and existing verification is not acceptable. We are putting major additional sanctions on Iran on Monday, today. What do you think? All of the Democrats, they don't like to answer questions too specifically about this. What do you think their perfect idea would be?
Well, I want to point out, we're talking about instincts and tweets here. If we had a policy to debate, I think that we'd be on a more solid footing and could actually solicit from Democrats, especially those running for president, what they'd like to see that's different or how they might tweak whatever's being put forward. So I think it's difficult to critique, something as detailed as tweets or, dovish instincts. I think that's the challenge here. I don't think that people disagree that America ought to take a more aggressive stance toward that country. I just think that we haven't heard or seen a plan come from this president or from the last six, right? We lost diplomatic relations with Iran in 1980. We've had 6 presidents since then, 4 of those 6 being Republicans. I don't think we can lay this at Obama's feet.
It's almost an impossible problem, you would think, at some point. Alex, Democrats say this was predictable, that when you starve Iran the way that we're doing with these sanctions, they were bound to lash out in this way. And they say this is the wrong way to handle this country.
Well, look, you can't reward bad behavior. And I think that the Democrats here are running the risk of sounding, like they're closer to Iran's thinking on this issue than they are the president and the United States thinking. Look at Maxine Waters, her recent comments. She sounds like she's the press officer for the Iran government. And I think that if she's taking the side over our president and what our U.S. military is doing, that really becomes problematic in terms of how the world is viewing our response to the situation.
Yeah, it's a heck of a pickle we got here, guys. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Jillian, we'll send it over to you.